Now, I do know that Krystianer, he's very proud, very fond, very confident in his PvP, and we have seen him take down players like Showtime, players like Skillus, players like even going toe-to-toe against players like Classic as well. True. But as I mentioned before, Cyan is a player that I can't really pin down too much just because he's been less active, right? Has been less active. And here we go this morning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock. We have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing offside Esports. It is Krystianer. And this morning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Protoss player from the land of China. It is Cyan. Go. So I'm just setting up our other matches. There's match. Okay, beautiful. As so far, standard openers, a 2-gate opener out of Krystianer, 2-gate opener out of Cyan. Now, when it comes to Krystianer's PvP, we have seen it quite a bit. He's very fond of 3-base play. He's very fond of early and committed charge timings. He has caught many a Protoss player with their pants down in the mid-game, and I feel like that's where Krystianer typically does thrive. We'll see if he can get there, as Cyan does hide his probe and looking to throw down a fake proxy pylon. Pylon has been thrown down. It is going to be at Cyan's third base location, so his own half of the map. Of course, he moves out with the probe, so he's not planning on actually committing to any kind of hidden tech. And we'll see if Krystianer can confirm what's going on. Krystianer, he's got his probe in the main base. He knows that a pylon is missing. He knows, he's aware. You can see he's looking. He's looking further in the main base, searching for that pylon. And this typically forces the Red Protoss, forces Krystianer to move out with another worker. To scout to confirm what exactly is happening. Is usually what happens, but no, Krystianer, no fear whatsoever. He is expanding. Okay. He's still scouting with that first worker. He's checking the top side of the map. No, he is going to be setting up his expansion. Does open sentry, going for the hallucination. Krystianer, he is looking. He's looking, searching, and Krystianer, upon seeing the timing of the natural, he'll know. He does confirm. I don't know if you noticed, but Krystianer, he didn't throw down the Nexus until he scouted. So Krystianer, he was waiting for the scout before he made his decision because he was working with incomplete information, and that means that Cyan has the much faster natural base. His base is more than halfway done. Krystianer's again is still getting there, so Cyan does have the better economic start. Likewise, going for his Robo follow-up. So early Robo here by Cyan. Interesting. Usually you'd see a Twilight Council at this point, so seeing a Robo this early on is usually indicative of more safe defensive play. Getting into early Immortal production, you can go for an early War Prism to harass across the map, but typically it leads into Immortals and leads into a more defensive setup. The reasoning for this is because you have no Blink Stalkers, you have no map control, right? You have no map control, so you have to build up your Immortals, turtle up back at home, and then break out on 3 bases. Here come the Immortals. Meanwhile, Krystianer's being active early on. Krystianer, he knows that he is slightly behind just because of the timing of the base. Warps in extra Stalkers, looking for some force fields, and Cyan, can he look? Sorry, Krystianer, can he look Cyan down? He's hoping to. Trying to lure him out. He does see the defensive setup. The Immortal has arrived, and Krystianer cannot break the natural. Cyan, he does move with his counterattack. Now, my assumption here was he was going to build up his immortal count and be more defensive, but no, Cyan, he defends, he deflects against the first push. He's now going for his own counterattack. Back at home, what does Krystianer have to defend? He has a lot of sentries, he has a lot of force fields. It's running down a wall of shield batteries as well. We have 3 batteries on the way. He's only got 2 gateways, can warp in 2 units at a time. Krystianer, he's turtled up quite nicely, and the hallucination confirms. So Cyan, he sees the shield battery in the main. He sees the shield batteries at the natural, and he pulls away. Cyan, he pulls away, he just postured, and this is a better start for Cyan because Cyan is expanding. He's getting his 3rd base. His 3rd is getting up, and he forced down to 4 shield batteries. Oh my god, Krystianer was so convinced that this was an all-in. Yeah, Krystianer, he was convinced, and again, he got baited into wasting all these resources. So many batteries. And Cyan's just chilling. Just backs off, expands, gets an immortal, gets another. And the pressure is on Krystianer. He's now expanding, but he needs more than just expand. He needs to make up for his earlier losses. Gets a battery. Battery goes down. We have Adept shading in towards the natural. 2 Adepts taking 1-shot probes. Nice moves here by Krystianer. He gets in. Gets in, gets 1, gets 2. 2, 3 probes go down. Nice pickups. Gets up to 4, gets up to almost 5. Casito. 4 probe kills. At the same time, we have Krystianer's main army pushing in towards the 3rd base, but our last immortals are waiting for him. Ooh, goes to the prism. Okay. Prism goes down. Oh, but we have some counter damage. Yeah, Adepts take it into the main base, and initially this was great and all, but 7 probes go down to the Adepts. Ay, ay, ay. Krystianer, who's looking good, but Cyan does reciprocate. 7 probe kills across the map. Krystianer, he also fixated on his moves that damage was done. So Krystianer, he's still behind. Cyan is just building on more immortals, getting a 4th. Getting a 4th immortal, getting into Archons. And once Cyan is satisfied with the size of his army, then he can start to push. We're just still waiting here for a wave of Archons. But the move out is going to be terrifying. Let's kill a battery. Krystianer setting up for a Zealot run-by. Again, these are the moves that Krystianer needs to go for. He's setting up run-bys, counterattacks. Doing whatever he can. And we'll see if Krystianer can make it out of this here. I do feel like the best chance for him is going to be for a counterattack. You can see he has a Zealot Rhyme on the left. He has Zealots on the right. Stalker's moving through the center. Remember, Krystianer, he cannot win a head-on fight. Like, that cannot happen. The quality of the army is just too good here for Cyan. He's got +1, working on +2. War Prism into the main base. Cyan is ready and waiting. Waiting in the main. Krystianer, he rotates towards the 4th base. There is an opening. Kills on battery. Can he force a cancel? Not quite. Ooh, does snipe the War Prism as well. Not bad. Cell run by isn't activated yet. Jesus. I mentioned earlier that Cyan, it was going to be on him to turtle up, but okay, he's going to push. I was going to say he might even just turtle up until he maxes, but no, he is finally moving out. As he moves out, Krystianer's going for the base trade. Does hit the natural, warp in into the natural as well. Cyan turns back around, and Krystianer, he's committed. He is committed here. There's the recall as well. Krystianer pulls away with his Archons, at least with the Zealots are going to be going down. Cleans up the Zealots. So they push on this upside. Oof. And this wasn't worth it. This wasn't worth it. So Krystianer, he killed 4 probes. 4 workers went down, and Krystianer bled out so many Zealots. You can see here 16 Zealots. Ay, ay, ay. Without 16 Zealots, Krystianer, he plummets in supply. And Cyan is finally across the map. He's finally pushing. Krystianer, once again, he avoids the army. And I mean, I agree with this. Like, the best chance here is base trade. We're going for the base trade. When it comes to the armies, we do see that Cyan, he has the higher Immortal count, has the higher Archon count, has the higher Zealot count. Oh, Cyan turns around. Okay, he does commit with his Zealots at least, but he turns everything else around here. So Cyan is splitting up his army. He's splitting up his own army. This is maybe best case scenario for Krystianer to fight Cyan a portion of the army at a time. Even then, it might not be enough. Okay. There's so many Archons. Yeah, the Archons are pushing forward. The Sea of Zealots, they break through the third, now pushing into the natural. He's going in, bad. He's going in. Cyan bleeds out a couple of probes. It has killed 34 workers, and Krystianer turns around. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, on the one hand, yes, Krystianer, he will kill these Zealots at least. Like, he will kill the Zealots. That will help. Assuming they don't recall. Assuming. Okay, okay. Yeah, no recall. The Archons, they will completely clean this up. Krystianer taking that supply lead. Okay. He's up in army supply, but he still has no Archons. Sorry, no Immortals, I meant to say. Archon counts are comparable. Actually, slightly ahead in favor of Krystianer. Ooh, +3 is going to finish off for the fight. So Cyan, he still has the better upgrades. Better upgrades. A bunch of Archons, they're lagging behind. Yeah, they're too far behind. Krystianer's trying to break through, getting on top of the Immortals, but he cannot break that line of Immortals. And that's struggling. Saves the Immortals. Cyan, he can chase him down. Oh. Yeah, pulls back those weakened Immortals. Trying to come in from behind as well. The Immortals are getting low, but Cyan, he just has too much. He breaks through the main army. GG gets called, and Cyan takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Cyan does take a lead in the series. Again, just a really rough start for Krystianer. Unfortunately, Krystianer, he had a bit of a misread early on, so he fell behind economically, and he stayed behind economically. We saw that, if you remember, Krystianer had a big overreaction. He threw down 4 shield batteries. That's a lot of batteries. He threw down 4 batteries, 3 at the natural, 1 in the main, in preparation for an all-in that never came. Remember, Cyan, he postured, he moved out, he pulled back and just expanded. Like Cyan, he just expanded, took a third base, so a much faster third base, a much faster natural as well. Cyan, he just had a booming economy, and he could afford to perfect his army and build up a very high Immortal and Archon count, and Krystianer just couldn't keep up. He did attempt to go for Rambais and counterattacks with Adepts, with Stalkers, with Zealot Rambais, but we saw that Cyan was doing as much, if not more, damage across the map as well. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be loading into game 2. We're going to be loading into Winter Madness. We're going to be loading into a much larger map this time, so we should be feeling a little bit more comfortable macroing, unless we proxy. It is PvP. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Red Protoss player representing offside Esports from the land of Poland. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss himself, the Chinese Protoss. It is Cyan. Here we go. It's going to welcome one and all to Winter Madness. Again, a much larger map. The map pool, longer rush distance by ground. As a result, so we should be embracing a bit of a longer game here. And Krystianer should be having a bit of a more comfortable start to the game as well. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on our workers. We'll keep an eye on any hidden pylons. Sorry, just opening in the window. It's getting very hot. Very hot. It's deep in the summer here in Australia. We're surviving. Surviving. No. But for now, though, everything's looking as it should be. We have the workers moving out, and it looks like we're not deviating, we're not diverting into one of the corners of the map, so it looks like no proxies. Last game, Cyan did go for a fake proxy pylon, but this time the pylon is back at home. See a second pylon here at the ramp. Likewise, you see Cyan moving in and does scout the second pylon in the mineral line, or next to the gas geyser. Now, we do see that Cyan does something a little bit different here, and he does kind of invite Krystianer in. Cyan does go for a quote-unquote more efficient opener, but a riskier opener. And there's a reaction, double adept. What am I speaking on? Well, Cyan chose not to wall off. He chose not to wall off here at the ramp, so there is a massive opening to get in. You can see here that he has to invest into another pylon, into another pylon, into a gateway. Like it's just a bit of a more awkward setup here. That is why Krystianer, one of the reasons why he's opening up double adept. Double adept as adepts that can shade in and get some economic damage done. Double adept and a Stargate opener as well. Technically this is more efficient just because the travel time it takes for the probe of Cyan to throw down this pylon, this cyber core, and these gateways is a lot shorter to throw it down and then go back to mining. So technically this is more economic, but it's riskier because your ramp is more exposed. As opposed to this setup where Krystianer, the probe has to move, has to kind of travel longer here to the ramp to throw down these buildings before going back to mining. Meanwhile, Cyan going for the pylon block will delay Krystianer, which means Cyan has a faster natural. So again, Cyan had a bit of a greedier build, a greedier start, and a faster natural base, so Cyan is ahead economically. Does move out. The Adepts, they're kept at home because they have to deal with the pylon, so this delays the Adept aggression. Oracle's on the way. Cyan, did he scout the Oracle? He did not scout the Stargate. Cyan doesn't know. But he's pushing out, and this is just a really good move out of Cyan. Because Cyan is being aggressive here, he's forcing the Adepts to stay at home. Like, these Adepts are ideal to harass, but they can't harass. They can't move out. The Adepts are stuck at home. Battery's out of energy. Ooh, Cyan does overextend. Takes off one Adept, but may lose a Stalker in the process. No, he barely does pull away. But again, Cyan, he never scouted. He never saw the Stargate. He doesn't know what's coming his way. And back at home, there are two Stalkers in position, sentries as well. Looks like he might be able to hold on against the Oracle. Oracle into the main. Cyan reacts. Yeah, he reacts. He responds. As his main army is being chased down, there's a recall. In the end, Cyan, he lost 2 Stalkers, but he killed 2 Adepts. So we had a bit of a one-to-one trade. So far, this Oracle has not paid for itself, but at least it's still alive. Still alive, can still gain some value. Krystianer going for his Robo, also on 2 bases. Was Krystianer commits? Yeah, commits into the mineral line. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 probe kills. Getting little workers and getting up to 6 even. Oh my god. 6 probes go down, 7 probes even. 7 probes for 2 Adepts. For 4 Adepts. And Krystianer, he does take an economic lead. Yes, he had a later natural base, he had a less efficient start, but he's made up for that. Krystianer, he has made up for that. He's now ahead in the worker counts, building up his immortals. Now, as a reminder, we saw Stargate into Robo, so this should be very similar to last game, but the roles are reversed, where Krystianer, he should be slowly building up his immortal count, turtling up back at home, and slowly taking a 3rd base. The reasoning for this, no Twilight Council. No Council, no Blink. Blink is done for Cyan. Cyan has map control, or at least he should. As he'll have a more active and mobile army, delay on the 3rd base. Scout confirms the Robo. And should confirm the Immortal as well. Oh, Cyan is pushing. In my mind, I don't think the goal here is for Cyan to break the natural, but it should just be to contain Krystianer. To delay any kind of expansion. Oh no! As the probe goes down, but does get the Nexus just in time. Technically, Cyan could find a way into the main. Yep, there it is. Cancels the 3rd. He has his high ground vision. Going for the sentries. And gets one. Just the one, though. Gets the 1 sentry. Peels off into the main. Blinks on in. Pick up some pylons. Not bad. Gets a couple of pylons. Again, Krystianer's out of position. Catching up some Stalkers as well. Not the best trades here out of Cyan, but okay, he's gonna get the 3rd. No shot. Can he get it? Can he get the 3rd base? He could, but doesn't quite commit. It doesn't commit for it. Cyan pulls away. Digs out a couple of Stalkers. That is a lot of Stalkers on the way for Cyan. And he still has those sentries. In my mind, the goal should be to lock down the Immortals. There's no War Prism, right? There's no Prism. There's no way to save the Immortals. Cyan moves in. Taking a lot of cancel. Does lock down one of the Immortals. Nicely done. And one Immortal gets picked up. There's 2 Immortals left. Blinks on in, diving in the Immortals, and he's gonna get all 3. Yeah, he's gonna get all 3 Immortals. Massive pickups. Krystianer getting caught out. Forced to pull the boys. And Krystianer, he does have a ground army here. He's gonna be able to hold on. Does hold, but he's lost his advantage, right? His advantage was the Immortal count. He lost all 3 Immortals. He's got 1 Immortal on the way. If only Cyan had a proxy pylon. If he had a proxy pylon, he could reinforce and end the game. He's trying to. As he moves out, Adepts move in. Now that there's 1 Immortal, I believe Krystianer will defend. Cyan doesn't have enough. Oh, that is War Prism. Prism has arrived. And he's close. Ooh, and I feel like, if this had hit now, he could win the game. But now we have Archons. Archons are morphing in. We have 2 Immortals, we have 2 Archons. Krystianer's army is small, but it's very high quality. He's going to have 2 shield batteries as well. He could defend. He can hold on. Right, drop into the main. Stalker's forced out. There is the defensive warp in. An aggressive. Oh, Jesus. Give it to the warp in. That's a lot of zealots in the main. Krystianer, he has a bit of upgrades. He has +2. Sorry, he has +1, +2 is on the way. And Krystianer, he will defend. Yeah, he defends the main base. He defends the natural as well. Krystianer, he's holding. Tells me that's 7 probes. Krystianer is surviving. Oh, and we have the Bay on the way. Cyan thinking about disruptors. Technically, we could see Colossus. Technically. Not unheard of to see Colossus in PvP. For those that are curious, Colossus is basically an alternative to the Archon. Archons, they're better, they're more ideal. But we have seen players like Skillus, like Nikita, mix in Colossus. But there it is, disruptors are on the way. This makes more sense. This is a big risk. It's a big risk, a big gamble. If the Novas miss, then you can very quickly lose the fight. But we're going to be heavily reliant on these Novas. As Krystianer's moving out. And once again, the soup is lying, right? Like Krystianer, he has a very high quality army. Krystianer has +2. He has +2 against +0 from Cyan. So he's got the better upgrades. When it comes to the army itself, he's got 7 Archons against 23 Zealots. Zealot heavy composition against an Archon heavy composition. Like Krystianer, he's just going to mow his way through these charge slots. And again, it's almost like a role reversal. There he goes off. Get a decent connection. Nice splits here by Krystianer. Very nice. 1 over left. But the splits are too good. In game 1, it was Cyan who had the Immortal Archon heavy composition. And this time, though, it's Krystianer. Oh. This time it's Krystianer. Second wave of Novas are connecting. Okay. Decent connections. At the same time, Krystianer, he does lose his mineral line. 20 probes go down. Krystianer, he has to commit. But the Novas, were they too good? And the Novas, they keep clipping the army. Oh my god, massive connections. 2 Immortals, the Archons go down. GG gets called. The Disruptors, they were barely worth it in the end. And Cyan does claim the series 2-0. GG. Aye, GG, well played. I was almost convinced that we were going to see the ace match. Like Krystianer, he had a nice army. He was moving out. He initially dodged the first wave of Novas, but then they recharged. The Novas recharged. We saw some brutal connections towards the end. And on top of that, Cyan was able to cripple the economy of Krystianer. Krystianer, he had no follow-up. He was crippled back at home. He lost all of his workers at the 3rd base. GG. GG, well played. Again, it was a really risky maneuver to go into those disruptors, but in the end, it was worth it. In the end, it was worth it. So GG, well played. With that, we are going to be catching up in the bracket. Let's go. We're going to be catching up in the bracket here as we have concluded our elimination match. Okay, a lot of 2-0s tonight. A lot of 2-0s here as Maru 2-0'd Cyan and Solar 2-0'd Krystianer. We had just had Cyan 2-0'ing Krystianer in the elimination match. Krystianer is out of the tournament. He's out of the group stage, and now we have the winners match coming up next. It's going to be Maru versus Solar, and then the loser of that series up against Cyan in the decider match. Remember, there's still 2 spots available, and there are 3 players left. There are 3 players left. For the time being, though, we're going to be cutting to a break. We're cutting to a break here, so we're going to be take this time, get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your shop to this massage and marines. And when we come back, we'll have the next half of the broadcast. We'll have Maru and Solar. See you soon. See you soon. Bye. See you soon.